Hello everyone, and today I want to talk to you about the parallels that I see in an SEO project and a diet. Now, an SEO project and a diet is two completely and utterly different things, but there are some strong similarities, and as I explain them to you, it will increase your understanding of SEO and what you can expect from an SEO project if you don't already understand it fully. Okay, so let's start with the fact that you go on a diet in the first place because you're overweight. Okay, one of the reasons I'm bringing this subject up is that I personally am on a diet. Right? Actually, I don't really like to call it a diet, but like a complete change of lifestyle. Because even when I reach my target weight, I'm going to continue on the path that I'm on. I'm on the keto diet. It's got added benefits besides weight loss. But anyway, that's another thing. All right. So let's get to the topic on hand. All right. So when you're overweight, okay, you decide I'm going to lose some weight, and therefore you choose a diet to go on. All right. Now, the parallel with SEO is you have a website and it's not performing. You're not getting that targeted traffic. You're not getting search traffic. Okay. So you maybe have a very nice website, but it's just sitting there. No one's visiting it. No one knows you exist. Okay. So, that's the parallel I'm drawing between realizing you need to go on a diet and realizing you need to take some action on your website in the form of SEO. Okay. So then what happens? All right. So you go on a diet. Okay. In nearly all diet systems, everyone experiences the same thing. Okay. You have some initial success, and it could last for a few weeks, a few months. But at some stage, there's going to be a plateau where you stop losing pounds. Okay, and you're just stagnant in your progress. That you're just staying the same. Okay, or you're making extreme slow progress. So you might start off losing 2 or 3 pounds a week, maybe even more. Okay, and then you're maybe losing £1 every fortnight or every 3 weeks. Okay, so it's like a dramatic decrease in progress. Okay, now that does happen with SEO as well. Okay, so what could happen is, all right, you begin with your SEO project by first of all getting your house in order, so to speak, right? So before getting really nitty gritty with your off-page campaign, all right, you would sort out your own web pages, yeah, make them SEO friendly, right? You go through a checklist, you go through some processes of, following keyword research. You would ensure that your pages are optimized for those targeted keywords that you want to rank for. By checking the body of the content of your page, making sure that those keywords are present within that. To within maybe a 2 to 4% density. You sort out your header tags. You sort out your meta tags, your title and description, your open graph. You go through this whole. You optimize your images. You obviously sort out your image alt tags. You go through all this thing, right? And you work through a checklist. And nearly every single SEO project that I've done, I've gone through that checklist page by page, and as soon as that's done, right, it could be anywhere from like 2 or 3 weeks to 2 or 3 months, right? It's different for every client, but at some stage there's sudden success, and all of a sudden your web pages start to rank in Google, or they start to jump in their ranks, and then the magic happens, right? And there's loads of success. Okay, and that's comparable. When you're on a diet, you get that initial success. Okay, all right. So just as with the diet, where you reach a plateau, so do you in an SEO project. You reach this plateau where you've got your keywords ranking, and then it just kind of stops. They just stay where they are. you maybe got a keyword on page 3 or page 4 or page 5 of Google, and then you're thinking, well, hey, I'm not getting click-through traffic because, you know, no one actually goes to page 4 or 5 of Google and clicks on a search result to go through to a website. Yeah, I mean, statistically, people tend to click through to a website on page 1 of search results. Yeah, so that's where it's at. That's where you want to be, is on page 1, right? Sometimes, especially if you've got a very niche product or service, and it's hard to find good search results for, then people will oftentimes go to page 2. And I've known a lot of click-through traffic coming from page 2, right? But page 1 is where it's at, right? You want to be on page 1. And it might be that you've got yourself indexed by Google. Google knows that you're trying to rank for this keyword. They are aware of your page. You're coming up on search results, but you're just a little out of reach, right? You're down there on page 4, 5, page 10 even, right? So you need to increase that up, okay? Now, what happens when you're on a diet? Okay, let's go back to a diet. So you reach that plateau, right? And you need to kickstart your weight loss again, right? And there's various techniques to do that, isn't there? And it's a controversial subject. I mean, everyone's got a different opinion on that. Some people say you need to kickstart your metabolism by maybe having an eating binge, right? Just for a day, right? And then that will kickstart you back into weight loss when you correct that after a day and you go back on your eating plan, right? That's one theory. And then there's other theories too. Well, it's the same thing in SEO, right? In SEO, right, you reach that plateau, you've done the most important bit, right? But there's more needed. So what you might need to do in SEO is you need to perhaps create more anchor texts, right? So what you do is, like, if you've got other pages on your website that contain the keyword of another page, you use that word as an anchor and you hyperlink it to that page. It's called internal linking, all right? So, you've got to make sure that wherever your keyword exists, if it's on a page where that's not the focus keyword, that you link it, right? Okay, you do that. There's also canonicalization, if I'm pronouncing it right, where if you've got very similar content on a page, but you're not maybe ranking for that specific keyword, but it's very similar, it's almost duplicated, it's just slightly different. And then what you would do is you want to inform Google that the main authority page on this topic is where you want your page to rank for that keyword. So you put in your canonical URL. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. So there's these various things you can do. Also, ask yourself, did you ping that page when you updated it? All right, because you can ping it, force the search engines to know that you've just updated a page to make it more SEO rich, right? Okay, so there's that. Off page, if you create content off page, and then you can also, once again, use an anchor text, hyperlink it, create a backlink back to that page. Okay, so these are things that you can do to, take that keyword rank from a lower position and give it a shove up, right? But once again, I mean, this is going to take some time. It could take, ranks can change in as little as 15 minutes, right? But it can also take a couple of months. So that's another parallel, right? Because you see, on a diet plan, you're doing the right things, but the results are kind of out of your hands, all right? Because you don't know, right? You can intend to lose a pound or 2 per week, but when you get on those scales at the end of the week, right, the reality of what you've achieved in the week, numbers wise, is like out of your hands, right? You can do all the right things, but ultimately you might have lost more than you intended, or you might have lost less than you intended, or you may have even gained a pound. That happens quite often. You do all the right things and you gained a pound. I mean, what's that about, right? But oftentimes when you gain a pound and you've done all the right stuff, it might be that you've lost inches on your waist, yeah? And that's another parallel with SEO. Sometimes I've seen cases where I have had less keywords ranking in Google, but there's more traffic coming to my website because other things have happened, right? I'm getting more referral traffic. Perhaps your YouTube channel or one of your social media channels is driving more traffic because it's coming up in search results, right? So that's not a bad thing. Yeah, you're still achieving it. Now, as well in SEO, sometimes you can achieve much more. Just the same as when you're on a diet, you're thinking, well, I'm going to aim to lose a couple of pounds, and then a week goes by, you jump on the scales, you've got 6 pounds, right? The same thing happens in SEO. Okay, you can have a keyword you're not even working for to rank, and that happens to me every single month when I do my end of month reports, right? I get surprises, yeah. So I'm looking at the figures. Wow, look at that! That's a really good keyword. I never even thought of that keyword, and that keyword I wasn't even working towards ranking, and it gets like 1,000 searches a month, and there I am on page 1 for it. Yeah, it's a surprise. So ultimately, what I'm trying to drive at here is that results are kind of out of your hands, and that's why you must never go with an SEO company that guarantee results. Okay, because every SEO company is not Google, right? Google decide the results of where your website ranks and why that is. Yeah, they've got their algorithms. No one can affect it. All we can do is do the right things, right? And if we do the right things, then the probability of achieving good results is extremely high. Okay, you can't control what your competitors are doing, right? You can't. I mean, you could hold a page 1 position. You could monopolize a niche and have like loads of cool stuff going on, right? You have no control if someone else is going to start a website and go hard at it in their SEO and do really cool things, and you have no control of that. Okay, all you can do is the right things, right? And if you do the right things, the chances of success is extremely high. Just the same as with your body, all right? If you don't do the right things, you're guaranteed that you're not going to get good results. If you do the right things, then the probability of getting good results is extremely high, right? But the figures is in the lap of the gods. Okay, so that's a few thoughts for today, and I'll talk to you next time.